All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump back into part two. I know part one was basic strategy and setup, but let's jump into part two and really dial into some different information in regards to looking at bid adjustments and how we can determine what we should be paying over time and things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the campaign that we created for plumbers, and let's just pull it up at the keyword level and take a look real quick here. So what I like to do is I like to set up my columns in this particular format. Obviously, we have our keyword, and we'd be testing multiple keywords to see which one gets the highest conversion rate, highest conversions for the lowest costs, etc., etc. We do it one keyword at a time since we're a single keyword campaign strategy. But to set up your columns, you can come right over here, okay? And you can modify your columns. I don't know if you guys know how to do this, but a lot of people don't, especially when I'm first training them. And the thing that I like to do is have the estimated first page bid, first position bid, and estimated top page bid. Now I'll put those three right up here, and I will put a quality score right here. I don't pay much attention to the quality score, and I will absolutely show you guys why here in a second. It doesn't really affect bidding that much, especially if you're in manual bidding. It kind of plays more of an integral role inside of automated strategies with Google, but since we're not looking at that right now, we're just going to go ahead and apply this, and you will see these come up. Now, since this campaign doesn't have any data and we're not going to be running any data for it, obviously this information is not populating at this point in time. So let's go ahead and pull up another account, and I'll show you guys some great information in regards to how you can manually bid, and then how you can use automated strategies to see if you can beat Google or if Google can beat you, because ultimately the goal is to always get the most amount of clicks for the least amount of money and the highest conversion return, right? So I'm going to go ahead and jump over here into a different account. And we're going to jump into an account by the name of Steamy Concepts here in Tucson, just because they have a good amount of spend, and it'll give us some information to base what I'm trying to explain to you guys on, okay? So let's come over here to competitors. And with this particular ad group, what we are doing is we're bidding on competitors, right? And as you can see here, I have Steamy Concepts set up with 2 keywords per ad group, sometimes 3, really depends. But over time, you should be filtering these out and seeing what converts really well. Most of these actually do have a good conversion rate for competitor clicks, so we keep them around. Zero Res has 2. This is a what I would consider a single keyword ad group, not a single keyword conversion group, and those are 2 different things. So if you had a single keyword conversion group, you'd have Stanley Steamer, and then you'd have a single campaign group, you'd have Stanley Steamer, and then you'd have Zero Res, and then you'd have whatever other competitor you have set up as a campaign. So let's just take a look real quick here. I have this account set up this way because it is what works best, but you should constantly be testing. This is another way to do it, but I prefer setting it up the way that I initially showed you guys, and possibly moving to this a little bit later if you can get better results. So we have a quality score of 3 out of 10 on these particular keywords, right? And what you'll notice is the estimated first position bid is 967 and 1142. So what I like to do to get at the top of the page is I like to bid right underneath it. If I came in and I say I bidded 980 on zero dash or space res and $12 on Zero Res, what would happen is I could start a bidding war. And what that means is once the competitor sees that my click is now more costly than theirs, they might go up to 1210. So right now somebody is probably paying 1142 for this keyword and 967. I'm going to keep my bid cents underneath that, because what it does is it prevents, again, the bidding war, right? So yeah, like I said, if you take a look at the quality score, it's 3 out of 10, CTR is 11.46, conversion rate is really low, obviously, because it is a different business, it's a different brand. But we do have 4 conversions. I believe we have actually more than this, to be honest, just because I track the calls and the other information through the call tracking software, CallRail. So I believe this is actually a little bit higher for September. But if it's not, you might want to inform your client that, hey, this is only getting 4 conversions. Their average ticket is $400, so they might be making a little bit of money. This type of campaign strategy is definitely set up for a company to become a household name, to try and outbid their major competitors. Not necessarily that I'd recommend it, but what I wanted to show was that this quality score actually doesn't mean much. If we come over here to the campaign level and we come down to ad groups, we take a look at the auction insights. What you'll notice is that we have a 92% impression share, 94% top of page rate, right? So we are beating Zero Res and Stanley Steamer on their own keywords, just based simply on the cost alone. So this is based on a few days ago, and this is a great example. So what I will do is I will come in here and I'll drop this down a few cents underneath the estimated first position bid. Now this is a lot of work. You do have to check it almost daily if you're not underneath a automated bidding strategy. So let me go ahead and change these real quick here. Perfect example, excuse me. Now if we jump over here to, let's say, Tucson carpet cleaning. And here I'm using a single keyword because my client, his name is Matt, he wants to come up for everything that has to do in regards to carpet cleaning. Now I do have a negative keyword dictionary list, which is incredibly long, to be honest. It's 88, I believe it's 88 pages. Yeah, 88 pages. So it's super, super long. But what we kind of decided when we got together was we were going to come up for everything, and then what we didn't want to come up for, we would filter out later just because of the large budget that this client has available. So as you can see, the estimated first page bid is $11, okay? Max CPC is $10.70. I put it a few cents under just so that I don't start bidding more. If you take a look over here, we have a 7 out of 10 quality score, not too bad. You could probably raise that if you worked on the CTR. This is above average and this is above average, so I don't think there's, I think the expected CTR is what would have to go up to get this to an 8 or 9. If you take a look at the conversion rate, it's actually pretty healthy. It's 21.43%. Cost per conversion is $29.75. Average cost per click is $6.37. So this is a very well-performing campaign. If the average ticket is $412, I believe I said, you know, they've made roughly $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 on a $1,200 spend. Just for being at the top of the page for most of their keywords and terms with an average CPC of $6.37. Now remember, just because you set a max CPC and this is the estimated first position bid, doesn't mean Google's going to charge you all $11. It just means that you are willing to pay up to that amount to be at the top of the page. So again, if we come over here and we go to auction insights, you'll see that we come up 66.93% of the time, which is higher than everybody else. Top of page rate is 73.82%. So when you are manually bidding, the goal is to be at the top most of the time. And the goal with your keywords is to have a healthy average cost per click, a very high conversion rate, a low cost per conversion, and obviously a ton of conversions with a known value. And for my client, it's $412. So this is a fully manual bidding strategy. Now, what I wanted to kind of touch base on is we do test against Google's automated strategies, and what we would do is we would essentially set it up to target the return on ad spend. So if you've ever done that before, I'm not sure if you have, what you want to do is you essentially want to map it so that you're paying the same amount cost per click, and you stay in the same conversion rate percentage, but you keep getting the same amount of conversions or more. If Google is able to kind of you know, they really have kind of stated that their systems are better and more advanced than human analysis and human manipulation. So if they're able to beat all these particular metrics, then that's wonderful. And the way that you would do that, it was you would come over here to the campaign, and then you would go to settings, and you would wait for it to load. So you would change manual CPC, the bid strategy, and you'd come down to here to let me take a look real quick here. Target impression share, maximize clicks. So I'm not looking for any of those. I'm looking for other optimization, conversion value. Well, it looks like they changed a few things. All right, so essentially your budget is $250 and your currently daily spend is $81. You can change your budget, reduce budget, set a target return on ad spend. So your recommended target ROAS is 93%. So it looks like they might give you a math conversion to add here, or I'm sorry, a formula to use here. Conversion value divided by ad spend times 100%. So whatever your conversion value is, I believe it was 43, divided by ad spend, which I believe was 1,200 times 100% equals your target ROAS. Okay, so what we would do is we essentially set this up, and we would run this for about a month after we have some conclusive data on our strategy, and see if Google beats us. This is set up and working very well for the client. I'm not sure there's much more you can squeeze out of this. An average CPC of 637 is incredibly low, especially on this many impressions and to have this many clicks with these conversions. It's a 21% conversion rate, so it's doing very, very well. You could try and run Google's automated system for target ROAS and potentially see if there's anything left to kind of squeeze out of the stone, but I'm not sure that much would come out of it. Again, it's entirely up to you, something I would recommend doing. Another thing I want to draw attention to is this optimization score up here. This actually doesn't really mean much. You could have an optimization score of 40%. If your client is making a ton of money and they're only paying $6 per click and have a conversion rate of 21.43%, I would not even mess with it, to be completely honest, okay? There's just no point. Any conversion rate above 10, 15, 20%, you are doing extremely well for your client. It's not very common. So keep that in mind and try to not focus really on this optimization score. Google teaches in their material that you want to have an optimization score of 100%, and that might potentially be true if you're using automated bidding strategies, especially out of the gates, because Google needs to understand what actual conversions are for you, right? So that would make sense. But for manual strategies, it's just pointless in my opinion. So again, what we would do over time is we would come down here to search terms. We would filter out by a date. I don't think we ran any ads today actually, so I'll go back to Saturday. And you would come down here to search terms, and you would start going through the search terms to make sure that they're all kind of what you want. Since we have a competitor campaign, I would remove any competitors from this Tucson carpet cleaning campaign. So obviously you can go through here real quick, look at carpet cleaning Phoenix. No, we're in Tucson. Phoenix is a different city about 100 miles away. So essentially what you're doing is you're building your negative keyword list comprehensively through trial and error. A lot of people aren't necessarily willing to do this, but I find that it's kind of the best solution for a company who wants to come up for everything. If your company's on a budget, do it the other way in video number 1, because it makes more sense, right? Less people are going to be searching for best plumbers or best carpet cleaner in Tucson rather than a whole variety of search matches. As you can see, we're coming up for everything from, Walmart carpet cleaning machines, Aztec, all kinds of stuff, right? Machine 2021. This is not a strategy I would recommend for somebody who doesn't have a lot of money to spend and who doesn't want to come up for everything. This is a strategy used for building a household name, people who want to come up for everything, okay? So I'm going to add these few as a negative keyword. I'll probably come back and keep checking however everything looks good. The clicks that particular campaign generated, they did great. So yeah, other than that, guys, there's a lot more we can go into over here on the Serpagos one. Essentially what I would do is I would keep setting up campaigns. So this would be plumber, and then I would set up another one for drain pipe. Then I would set up another one for probably hot water heater repair. And I would keep using phrase match if the client doesn't have a lot to spend. $66 per day is a lot per campaign, so depending on how much you have, that could be a very healthy budget. If you have less than that, obviously you just want to break it out into more campaigns. The other great thing about using campaigns is you can determine exactly where your budget is going and to which campaign in pretty much every specific instance. When you use an ad group, your budget is spread out over the entire ad group, kind of how Google sees fit, which again removes control from your end of it, which I don't appreciate. So I'll go ahead and leave you guys with that information on video number 2 right now. There are some different informations that I do want to go into, such as devices, advanced bid adjustments, performance targets, campaign groups, and things like that. But I'm going to leave that for video number 3. In this video, I just wanted to cover how you can actually see what the top of the page cost is, right? So if you have a client, you can go to them and you can say, hey, your estimated first position bid is $11. We're getting an average CPC on October 30th, or let's filter for the whole month, last 30 days. We're getting an average CPC of $9.62. So if we want more conversions or whatever the case may be, we're going to need to generate more revenue or more money or come up with more money or whatever the case may be. So yeah, guys, this information is incredibly good to have. It looks like September did really, really well for some reason. October went down, so I'll have to investigate that. It might just be that this particular niche goes down in October and December, or October, November, December, which I believe it does actually because of the holidays, if I remember correctly. But yeah, guys, this will give you some information. Estimated first position bid. Hey, you have an average CPC of 637 client. If you want to increase your conversions from 42 to, I don't know, 100, you can just multiply by, 2.3 or whatever it is, and then you'll have an estimated cost that you need to procure every month, and you can let your client know. So a lot of good information here. Thanks again for making it to the end of this video. If you have, I think it's great that you're on your journey to try and understand more about Google's PPC. There's a lot of varying opinions out there, and this way isn't necessarily the right way to do it. It's just the way that I like to do it, because I like to have full and total control over my accounts. If I do switch to an automated strategy, I like to know that Google has beat my strategy, because if they can't beat my strategy, then I'm not interested in using their automated strategies, and I hope that makes sense. So yeah, guys, happy Halloween. I hope everyone had a good evening, a safe evening. Thanks for following along with me in this video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot them to me. I know this is a lot of information to cover very quickly, very fast, and I will be producing more videos along the line that discuss more things such as audience targeting, a few different things like display campaigns, device bid adjustments, so forth and so on. But hopefully this gets you started and in the right direction for people who need an upper hand. Because think about it this way: if everybody on Google is using an automated strategy, that means that nobody's really manually using the system to beat everybody using an automated strategy, and they're leaving it in Google's hands, which I do not prefer to do. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching, and take care.